Hi, this is Carolyn, and I'm here with Aaron. And this is part 2 of our episode with Swapnil, who is the CEO of SwingVision, which is an AI tennis app. If you'd like to learn more about SwingVision and the features that can help with line calling, please check out part 1, but here is part 2.
The thing that I've used it for lately that I really like is using it with the ball machine, which I didn't for a long time. I just, thought matches and the line calling but I did it the other day, and then I sent the video to a pro. Just even doing SwingVision a couple sessions for me helped me fix my ground stroke, because I noticed like just some weird things that I was doing. I didn't notice it when I was hitting, but when I filmed myself and watched it back. But the cool thing for that was I sent him the second video and I said, watch my swing, pick apart whatever you want, but what you really need to look at is my terrible serve. So I said, fast forward through like 17 minutes. Like you could watch like 2 minutes of my, ground stroke, and then fast forward and then watch so that's been super helpful. And I know, I listened to you on another podcast, Carolyn and I both did. And I know you talked a lot about that part of the app now, where people can be in anywhere in anywhere in the world really, and do some coaching. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, we're seeing a lot of juniors use it, but just anybody who has a coach, you can film your match, you can send it to your coach, and you can send like very specific things too. So like, you don't even have to send the entire video. Like, you could filter and say like, just show me the forehands that I missed. And like, you can send a link of just those highlights to your coach. They can immediately open it in the browser. So we've kind of built a lot of infrastructure on our website so that like anybody can just watch it, even if you don't have the app, even if you're on Android, which we don't support yet. So that's really facilitated a lot more remote coaching now. And we're seeing way more coaching happening on the road, which is excellent. And going into next year, the plan there is to really kind of keep it all in the app, so it's like as seamless and streamlined as possible. Because right now, I think if you send it to the coach, they probably have to send you feedback outside the app, whether they're like texting it to you, sending an email, or putting it in Google Docs or whatever it is, right? And so if you can just have that feedback directly in the app, that just makes it so easy. And imagine like you have like a 2-hour match, but you send it to a coach, and then next morning you open up the app, you just watch a 2-minute highlight reel of what your coach annotated. And like in 2 minutes, you know what you need to work on, what you need to, focus on for the next match or whatever it is. So it's just going to make kind of ingesting and like understanding that feedback a lot faster. And it's going to be so excellent for coaches because they'll be able to have like so much more business. So that's a really exciting thing that we have kind of planned for next year. But we've just done a lot of work, I'd say, over the last 12 to 18 months to just make that sharing experience as good as we can. And part of that's kind of making it easy to watch it on the website. Part of it's also like making sure that video uploads properly, which has always been a big challenge for us. We're one of the few apps in the world that is like regularly uploading 10 gigabyte files. Like literally no one else does that. So, even if you're using like Google Photos, you're probably not taking 2-hour long videos every day, but our customers are literally recording matches every day. So we've had to innovate a lot on that side. So it's a lot of the like non-sexy stuff, I guess, that we've had to work on, but it really is so critical to making a good experience for everybody, whether you're a player or a coach. So we're really proud with the innovations we've made there. And even just the last couple months, we've made some really significant updates there. And the video upload process is like so much better now, so much more reliable. So that ultimately unlocks like all this sharing functionality. And I guess speaking of sharing, another cool one is you've seen this on our Instagram, but now the video like automatically moves left and right as if there's like a cameraman watching your match, which is like super cool. And so you can record your match in like landscape, but then you can create this cool highlight reel where it will follow the ball automatically. And so it's essentially like an AI generated highlight reel, and it looks really nice on Instagram or TikTok, so any of those vertical platforms. And so that's been super fun. And we're going to do more there to make those like highlight reels even more captivating and interesting. And you could imagine someday, like we might even start like streaming matches in that format, because like everyone's so used to like watching content in a vertical form now. Like they're just used to holding their phone as it is, right, and not rotating it. And so you can kind of give that choice to the user that like, hey, if you don't want to actually watch it in landscape, you could just watch it in vertical, and like in real time, SwingVision will just follow the ball, so you can like stay on the action. So I think there's lots of like cool things we can do in the future there to make that even better. But I think we've really innovated a lot there, and the content that's coming out of SwingVision just works so well, no matter what platform you're trying to post it on, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or sharing with your friends on iMessage, right? So there's been a lot of work there as well, which I think people really enjoyed. So,
what other features do we want to talk about? I know there's so many.
Another thing that we released recently was goal mode. So this is actually great if you have a ball machine. So if you're setting up your session as ball machine or serve practice in the app, you can actually turn on goal mode, which lets you select certain zones of the court that you're trying to aim for. And you can actually change these zones like from your watch as well while you're playing, while you're recording. And then what will happen is your phone, or if you're wearing like headphones, you'll actually get audio feedback. So every time the ball lands in or out, you'll actually hear a different sound effect. So it kind of gamifies it. And then it even tells you the speed of your shot. It gives you like a progress. So every few shots, it'll say like, 25 out of 30 shots in and stuff like that. So it gives you like a sense of like your progress and like your percentage. And I love using that with ball machine. So, I'm always working like on the depth of my shots. So I'll kind of select zones that are like beyond the service box. And then it'll actually tell me like how many of my shots landed in that specific part of the court. And so it kind of gamifies it. So that's been really cool. And we just introduced that a couple months ago. And we're going to continue involving that functionality so that eventually you'll even get feedback on your technique. And the app will even tell you like what adjustments you need to make. Like, why did you miss that last shot? What was wrong? We'll actually be able to tell you that. So that's kind of the long-term goal with that functionality. And it's great because it's used in those situations where you're just playing alone. Like you're just doing serves, you're hitting with a ball machine. Classically, kind of like a boring thing to do. You're just out there on the court, alone. But this kind of gamifies it and allows you to measure your progress in real time, actually, and interact with the technology in real time, which is like kind of fun. So yeah, that's been like a pretty recent feature. And then I guess more on like the performance side, something that we have coming up also in Q4 is that we're going to start recommending strategies for players. So if you play a match with somebody, after the match, you'll get a little readout of like what strategies work the best and which ones were actually the worst strategies. And these will be pretty granular. So it'll say like, when you're serving from the deuce side, this is where you should hit the serve. And then this is where you should hit the like serve plus one shot. And if you do this, you'll win the point like 90% of the time or whatever it is. So we'll actually give you like very clear like playbooks essentially on how to play certain players, which I think is going to be amazing for actually helping you improve your game. Because that's always been like one critique of SwingVision is that like we track all these stats, which is cool, but like what do I do with it? It's just like too much data sometimes.
Right.
So our team worked really hard this summer to come up with this new interface where it's going to explain in a very easy to understand way. You're going to know what plays you need to execute on. And the plays that aren't working that well, those will also be very helpful because those could maybe be plays that you work on with your coach. Like you're losing a lot of points when your opponent does this particular pattern of shots against you. And so now you can just go and like with a coach or with a ball machine, just replicate that exact pattern and like make sure you're not making mistakes when those come up on the match. So that's going to be super powerful. I think a very next level thing that we're going to do there and hopefully will, really be helpful for all players. So super exciting there too.
I lose points when my opponent gets the ball back on my side of the court.
No. I hear you, Aaron. I hear
right?
You.
I know. But the other thing that I like is looking at the stats after, like how many forehands I hit, how many backhands, cross courts. Like it records so much data. I can't gush more about it. But also we laugh because I know you just went to the U.S. Open. I just went to the U.S. Open. I've been to other like more local, smaller tournaments around. And we were just at one a couple weeks ago here in North Carolina. And there was a guy who was hitting like 120, 130 on his serve. And I'm sure you saw Ben Shelton hit like a 139 or 147 or something. And then, I look at my SwingVision stats, it's like 34. Or I was telling my friends, I said, oh, I hit the same as Ben's, just minus the first number. He hit a 137. Funny. I hit a 37. But the fact that you can see all those stats is it's just really cool.
Thanks again to Swapnil for coming on the podcast. We have one more episode with Swapnil where he'll discuss the cool things they are doing with the score and if maybe one day us recreational players won't have to keep up with the score. If you'd like to get a free swing stick, which is a $100 value with your first year of SwingVision Pro, we hope you use our referral link in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening and hope to see you on the court soon.